Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Elevate podcast. Actually, we're doing this as a podcast, Cheryl. We can do this whenever. People can listen to this whenever.
Yes.
I get
Yes,
the habit of
doing. I do love that.
Yeah, we used to record these at 3:00 Eastern time, and now we don't. We just we do them whenever. This is the beauty of freedom, Cheryl. I know you're not even in your house right now. You're out in Arizona, and so yeah, this is the true life of freedom here.
I'll tell you, it was fantastic. I got to be with my family. I got to go to a beautiful wedding, and it's so nice to be able to jump on now, Paul, and talk to you and talk to our audience, and really kind of make that a little bit of that shift over into kind of what we're doing. And I'm super excited to talk about this topic today. I think it'll be awesome.
Me too. So what we're doing now, and every day of the week here on the Elevate podcast, we do something a little different. But for the next 10 weeks, well, I guess 11 weeks if you count today, we're going to be doing a series that'll be released every Tuesday on marketing online. So it's kind of the mindset behind marketing online. And it doesn't matter what business you're in, this will apply. We'll give you some examples of businesses that we run and how we use it. And if you don't have a business, you should have a business. So you can live the kind of lifestyle like Cheryl and I live. So we'll teach you, if you're interested in that, we'll help you with that as well. So we're just a full service thing here, Cheryl.
We are full service.
One-stop shop here, yeah.
That's right. That's right. And I love, Paul, what you said, and it's all about freedom, right? It's living a life that you choose, that you love. And it is all about freedom. It's having that freedom to do the things that I think that bring you joy and make you happy. That's what it's all about.
Yeah. So just for our audience, I've been working with a program called Notion for years. It's by far the most flexible thing out there. If you don't know about it yet, you should know about it because it's absolutely fantastic. So what we've done is we put all of our show notes into Notion. And if you just go below this video or podcast that you're listening to right now, in the notes, it'll say, click here to see the notes. And you can click there and fill in your email address and get the notes. And it's going to be super great when you see this, because you can, once you so you go to the very top and you hit duplicate. So it'll put it in your own Notion account. And I recommend setting it up. It's absolutely free to set up. But what'll happen is you can take these notes, put them in your Notion, and then you can add to the notes automatically, like super easily. So I love this setup the way it has here. And I know, especially with the next 11 weeks, Cheryl, there's going to be a lot of work to do and a lot of like fill in the blank kind of stuff. So as opposed to using pen and paper, we're going digital. We're cutting edge, Cheryl, here.
I love notes within the notes.
That's right. Notes within the notes.
Nothing better than that.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to talk about the 7 steps to a business cycle, Cheryl. So let's start with, so we're talking about the mindset behind building a business online. So what's step number 1 in the business cycle?
Oh, it's all about you and your brand, right?
Brand.
And
what do you mean by brand, Cheryl?
Brand is, I think it's who you are, right? Yeah. It's who you are. It's kind of the way I look at it is it's really who you are, what you do, what you believe, the way you think. Every single person is different. And so when I think of a brand, that's what I think of. So when I look at a brand that's important to me or that I love, it's for a reason. It's because it speaks to me, I guess. Yeah. Right. And so it's what I love. It's what I want to be part of, is really what it is.
Yeah. Along those same lines, you may notice if you're watching this on video, my background and Cheryl's background is brands.
Yeah.
So I elevate brand behind me right now, and Cheryl has the longevity brand behind her. So that's what we mean by brand. It can be a name of a person, like, I don't know, Trump, as a brand. People use their names as the brand. Other people use some sort of business name. I know you run a brand called Find a Fabulous, Cheryl.
Yes. Find a Fabulous is, I love it. I mean, it's really, and I love it because it says exactly what it is.
Yeah.
moving or going from fine to fabulous in every area of your life. And it's just like your brand, Paul, elevate. What does that mean? Let's think about that a minute. Well, it means going up,
Yeah.
elevating, moving up, getting better. So I
Yeah.
love that.
And I remember like, this was yesterday, but it was years ago. We were driving and, I'd come up with my brand and you were like, I want a brand too. Like, I really want to touch women and help women become successful. Like I become successful. So, and then we were just talking a little bit about some things and then it popped into your brain. And I thought we were going to get in a car accident because Cheryl got so excited about this. She's like, oh my God, Fine to Fabulous, with the number 2 in there and everything. So Cheryl thought of that just driving down the street. So you never know when an idea is going to pop in your head and inspiration is going to strike. But once that did, Cheryl, there was just a beaming energy from you that when you find your purpose and you come up with that brand name, that speaks exactly to what you want to do in life. You want to help women go from fine to fabulous is exactly what you want to do. So it's just, for people out there that are like, well, I don't have a brand, first of all, again, you can use your name or you can brand some sort of word. Like I know our good friend, Alex, he uses limitless. And I was talking to Alex about his podcast and absolutely go listen to the Limitless podcast. It's fantastic from Alex Tice. And I was talking to him about the word limitless. Like why'd you pick the word limitless? He's like, well, because I basically can talk about anything. It's limitless. So whatever he talks about, he works the word limitless into it, which you can talk about anything under the sun. And call it limitless. So it's we kind of suggest, and we're going to, that you want to, and we're going to go jump into the next thing, Cheryl, the second step, which is your target market. And really get this into your mind that you're not trying to get everyone in the world, like Alex with Limitless. He's looking for a very unique person who, wants to live that unbelievable limitless lifestyle. But talk to us a little bit about your target market, because I know this is something, Cheryl, that you worked really hard on identifying the exact women that you want to attract into your tribe.
Well, right. And I'll tell you what's crazy, Paul, is this is hard for me, right? Let's just be honest. This is very hard for me because I am an includer. I want to include everyone. But if you try to market to everyone, then you will market to no one because it's just much too broad, right? So for me, it's all about women who want to go from fine, right? Because a lot of times I found that as I'm working with women, coaching women, talking with women, and you say, well, how are you doing today? Oh my gosh, it's such a great day. And they're like, oh, I'm fine. And so fine became kind of a swear word to me, like one of the F words, if you will. It just kind of became, like, oh, I'm fine. Well, what does fine mean? And to me, fine just means not that great. It just means status quo. It just means I'm barely making it. I'm surviving, whatever it is. And so I thought, well, gosh, that would be great if we could go from fine, like where we're at, to fabulous. So it's all about, my target market is for women who want to go from fine, where they're at now, to fabulous. And the great thing, Paul, is it's whatever that means to them. Right? We find out what that means to them, and then we help them, we support them, we're with them on that journey, moving through the things that you have to go through, right? To get to that fabulous and whatever that means to them. So I love it. It's so much fun.
Oh, I love it too, especially because you ask 100 women what fabulous is, and they'll give you 100 definitions, and none of them are wrong. What's fabulous to you is not fabulous to me, or, everyone's got a different definition of what fabulous is. So it's just fabulous, Cheryl.
Yes, it is.
No, it is so awesome. But don't feel frustrated that you didn't come up with your amazing brand name yet. Some people spend months, 3, 4, 5, 6 months on the stuff we're going to go over in today's call in 20 minutes. So don't get frustrated that you don't know all this yet. We're going to walk you through it. But again, getting these notes through Notion and filling in these blanks and really taking the time to think about you and your brand and your target market, like who really is your target market? And Cheryl did a fantastic job in describing who her target market is. Now through that though, and we're going to do another podcast that's strictly on the 6 human needs, but we've talked about these 6 human needs a little bit in the past. And this is something, a conversation that Cheryl and I have had about every woman, excuse me, has the need to grow, the need to get better. But that is, for most people, 90% of the population, the number 6 need out of 6. I mean, they push that way down because everyone's looking for the certainty and security. Yeah. So, you know, Cheryl's absolutely right, you know, because you mentioned that everybody wants to go from fine to fabulous. Who wouldn't want to go to fine to fabulous? But the truth is that I think everyone has the need to get better and to, I know they do. It's just, will they do it? Will they want to be part of a bunch of women who are just kind of obsessed with becoming better, you know? And
of course.
So we're, you know,
I think that everybody gets to make their decision if that's something that they want to do. You know, because you can only, and I think it's so much fun. And the thing I love about it too, Paul, is we're doing it all together, right? There's that community feel, there's that fun, it's exciting, it's everybody together, working together. And that to me is very, very important. Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. So I know Tony Robbins, he does this thing called a fire walk, where you walk across fire for 20 feet. So you got to think about things like that in your business, like what you're having people do, or what's your topics being, because it didn't dawn on Tony Robbins until years later that he's excluding 90% of the population from his events, because 90% of the population has security as their number one value. And walking across fire ranks pretty low on the security scale. So, you know, you have to be someone who's really outgoing and really has some faith that you can really walk across fire to do these type of things. So, you know, there's certain things you're going to do in your brand that are going to weed out some people, and that's okay. Like that's our main point so far now, is that it's okay that not everyone's going to want to join, because not everyone should be joining your tribe. You know, there's unlimited amounts of ideas out there and possibilities for communities. And that's really what's king now, Cheryl, is the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's keep going around this circle here. So let's go to solutions, Cheryl. We want people to go out and figure out, what solutions do you offer to the world, to women? And obviously with yours, it's, hey, I got this problem. I'm fine. And I don't want to be fine anymore. I want to be fabulous. So that's a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is you can do, I like to come from all different areas, right? To really make a whole person. I like to be fabulous in every area of your life, right? So that we have a really nice balance. So physical, spiritual, emotional, financial, all of those things. I think it's super, super important to make sure that as you are going from fine to fabulous, that it's in each one of those different ways. And so, of course, you know, I love the whole idea of getting healthy. That's like one of my favorite things. And I think it's really important, because I think people do want to be healthy today. And so I love that as one of my main things that I'd love to fix that with and for people.
Yeah, I mean, Fine and Fabulous is all about solutions, you know, and health definitely being the big one. But there's every area of life. You help women, you know, I got this problem, here's this solution. So it's broad, and it's encompassing of all life. So that's what I really love about these brands. So the one saying I heard years ago, Cheryl, and stuck with me for 20 years now, is that people don't buy drill bits, they want a hole in the wall. And what that saying means is that I think a lot of people online marketing, Cheryl, they're marketing a product. Oh, my product, you know, I got this pen. It's unbelievable. I mean, it's got a click on it. It's got a thing to hold it on. I mean, it's got a grip. I mean, so people don't care about any of that stuff. You know, they don't care about the drill bits. So there's that famous part in Wolf of Wall Street where he says, sell me this pen. So the whole thing is, don't talk about the benefits of the pen. Ask the person, well, why would you want a pen like that? And they'll be like, well, I love writing. Like I write all the time. Like one of my pet passions is writing books. So I love the feel of a good pen in my hand when I'm writing. And okay, great. Well, this is the best pen you can get. So then I'll sell them this pen once I know their why. So it's just really important when you're marketing online that you're thinking of what solution are you providing, not so much about talking about your product.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's finding out. You do have to find out, what your client wants. That's the number one thing, and what you think they want may not be what they want. So it's super important to find out what they want, and of course the why is equally as important.
Absolutely. And what we do with our coaches in the Institute of Holistic Health is we train them to go look for problems. We actually have this health evaluation. You can, if you were invited to this podcast by one of our health coaches, you can ask them for a health evaluation, and that health evaluation looks for problems and then provides solutions. So we're not in the selling products business. We're in the solving problems business. And that's what business everybody should be in, and focusing on the solutions. And then Cheryl, there's the marketing process where we have lead generation that we're going to go into during these calls, lead qualification, lead nurturing, lead conversion, all these things we're going to cover. But what we want to talk about, Cheryl, while we wrap up this call here today, is some things for our listeners to really work on over the next week. Yeah. So let's talk about number one. So we want a message to the market. Like, and this is time where you get to, lock yourself in a room and think this through, because if you don't get this part right, the rest of the next 10 weeks are going to be not good. So you got to establish this stuff today and really, spend a lot of time on this, because if you don't get this right, the rest of it's going to be a train wreck.
Right.
So talk to us, Cheryl, real quick about the 5 kind of questions to ask yourself that you need to do some brainstorming on and fill in the blanks yourself.
Sure. So the first one is, who are you? You have to know. If you don't know who you are, then there is no way that you're going to be able to tell other people who you are. So your gifts, your talents, your unique genius, what is that, right? Who are you? And so that's super important. That's number one. Paul, do you want me to just keep going through these? Yeah. Okay. Number 2, why are you in the marketplace? What's your driving purpose or your mission? What do you want from your business? What specific value do you bring to the marketplace? Gosh, that's important. Why are you here? Think about that. Do you have a specific product? And then also, what is your business opportunity? So you have to know all of those things before you start here. Number 3, who is your offer for? Who are you marketing to? That's really important. We've been working, I think Paul mentioned it earlier, we've been working on our avatar like forever. So be thinking about who's your ideal customer, who's your sharing partner, and then your ideal builder, right? So who's going to be sharing your products? And believe me, Paul, I've realized this over the last 25 years or so. Everybody fits into one of those 3 areas. Your ideal customer, look, they love your product and they just want to use it. Your sharing partner, that's somebody who loves your product, and you know what? They're going to share it with a few people. They're going to share it with, their husband or their wife. They're going to share it with their kids and maybe a neighbor or 2, right? And then there's your ideal builder, and that's somebody who's just as excited and motivated as you are, and probably has a lot of the same, ideas that you have about, I really want to build a business. I want to be there. I want to, and so it'd be somebody who will be doing the same things that you're doing as a entrepreneur builder. Yeah. Okay. And then number 4.
Let me just chime in real quick on that, just so people know that different people call them different things. So don't get tied up on, so here at the Institute of Holistic Health, we call it clients, coaches, and CEOs. So we don't want to say ideal builder or sharing partner. We said coach, because that's what they are. They're health coaches. Instead of customer, I know, Cheryl, you love the word client. So you can mix these words and put your own words in there. This is just a mile high kind of mindset we're giving you today. So what's number 5, Cheryl?
So, well, first we need number 4, which you need to find out so this is for all of these, the ideal customer, or we're going to say coach, right? So what Paul just talked about, each one, you need to find out what their wants, desires, pains, their needs. You need to find out what each of those are for your coaches, and I say clients. So for your clients, coaches, and then the coaches on your team. And then what is the message you want them to hear? What benefit do you have to offer, and what solution will you bring?
Yeah, it's super interesting, Cheryl, to think about what are their pains, what are their wants, what are their desires. Like, you actually have to think of this person, and you're talking to this one specific person. So it's not, like you said, Cheryl, it's not about getting every woman in there. You're specifically talking to Amy or whoever. I suggest giving them a name. My guy name is Tony. So I got this one guy that I'm talking to all the time, and I know what his needs are. I know what his wants are, his pains, his desires, all those. So it's super important to get clear on those. So you're talking to one person, not to an audience, but to that specific avatar who's in the middle of the circle. The circle around that is big, and you're going to get other people in that circle to join you. But we want to know what the center of the circle looks like. That little dot in the middle. Who is that? And I suggest, again, giving them a name and getting super specific on this.
Yeah.
What's number 5, Cheryl?
Number 5 is, well, I already shared it, but I'm going to share it again. What is the message you want them to hear?
Right.
Okay. And then what do you have to offer them? Right. And then what is the solution that you can bring?
And again, you want to go through all 3, whatever you call them. Again, we call it clients, coaches, and CEOs, but whatever you call those 3 people, doing it for each one. So there's a lot of thinking behind that. Let's dive into this, Cheryl, a little bit, help people along here. So your ideal customer, your ideal client, we want to find out certain things about them, get real specific on this. And this may seem crazy. You need to do all this work, but you need to do all this work. So first of all, it's the demographics. So I know, Cheryl, you're looking for women right now, professional women, or women in general, and you got to pick a certain. It's important to pick kind of like an age bracket. You're not going to get you're not going to get people from 15 to 95 to join you.
That's exactly right. Yeah. You've got to be specific. And like you said, people who get it, they could be a different age, right? But people who get it can still come in and work right along with you. But you're going to be targeting, right, that person. So, I'm looking for people between 35 and 60, let's say, right? I would like them to have been in some sort of sales, direct sales, or network marketing, or something like that.
Real estate,
you can put real estate. That would be fantastic, right? I have a couple of friends that are, and they're just they've already had like the best training ever, right? So it's really neat to look for those specific people, and also make sure that you're marketing. And you can put all sorts of things in here, right? And I mean, you can say the household income that you want them to already have, is working at a job. Are they engaged in that, or in a home-based business part-time? You can put in there, have they been in sales before, right? And I think, Paul, too, it's super, super important to really think about what you want your avatar, how you want your avatar to answer these questions.
Yeah.
Right. And then that's the way I found I could make sure that I'm marketing to the correct person.
Exactly. So we have a bunch of ideas in there to get you started in the right direction. But again, we encourage you to download these notes, duplicate them over to your own Notion, and start filling all these in. And the next word, Cheryl, the next part, is a word I never even heard of before until I started getting into marketing, which is the psychographics of people, which goes into the mindset. So it's demographics, and then this is the psycho, which has to do with the mind, obviously. So what are their biggest fears, frustrations, pains, disappointments? Are they feeling stuck? Are they stalled? Like really getting into their mind of that person, which seems again odd that you don't even know who this person really is per se, but you're making this all up, but you're seeing that, boy, these are the things going on inside the head of the women or men that I'm looking for. And then of course we want to talk about their wants, list what they want. They want this, they want this. What are their needs though? Like, what do they really need? And there's obviously a difference between wants and needs. And then there's hot buttons. So what really hits them, and there's certain hot buttons that hit me. And I know, Cheryl, there's certain hot buttons that hit you. So everyone's got different hot buttons, but you want to know what are the hot buttons. And we give a bunch of examples here in the notes. And we kind of talked about this already, the ideal client, willing to pay the price that we have, open to, self-development or, whatever, open-minded, whatever your brand is, you need to really identify who this ideal client is. And then we kind of talked about this earlier, Cheryl, where again, what solutions do you provide to solve their problems? So really getting in depth with this topic, listing your unique features. Sarah, you got a lot of unique features.
I think everyone does, Paul. I really do. And you know what? Sometimes it's hard to realize what they are. So I'm excited to really dive into those and really think about that. Super important.
What's the last one, Cheryl?
The benefits. What are the benefits that are provided, right? And that's super important, because I'll tell you, I was just thinking about this. What I've found is that as I'm chatting with women and they've decided, yes, I want to go from fine to fabulous, or whatever part they are in their journey, I think the biggest feeling that women have as we get into this and talk to them and really, start diving into some of this stuff is, I think a lot of times they don't know. Some of the questions are hard to answer. That's okay. But also I feel a huge sense of relief from them that, that there's somebody that can, that can walk that journey with them and walk that path and help and support and be there. And then not only one person, but again, it's that whole community. And I think that is what makes the biggest difference, Paul, with us, is that, that we will do that. That's what we do. That's why we're here, right? Is to walk that path and walk that road, be here for that, for that journey with each and every person. And I just love that, and being able to do that. We always talk about how there's nothing better than contribution, than helping others achieve the dreams that they want.
Yeah.
Right. And I just love that. And I'm so grateful to be able to do that every day.
Absolutely, Cheryl. And I know the other thing that you're very passionate about, that I'm passionate about too, that we've seen work so well, especially through the pandemic, is the benefit of having a community to do it with. Cheryl and I run a weight loss program called the Keto 90 Kickstart, and it's massively successful. But the reason why it's so successful is because of the community. Like, we're all doing it together, and it's that I'm not doing it by myself kind of feeling that no one likes. I know, Cheryl, you hate doing things by yourself. You always want to, hey, who can I get going, doing this with me, and make it more of a, even if it's just one other person, but doing it with one or more people is just way more fun, right?
It is. That's absolutely right. Yeah. It's hard to have fun by yourself.
Well, I think you've mastered that too. I mean, you're just a fun person, Cheryl.
Yeah.
So yes. One person party going on over there.
Yeah, that's right.
So, all right, everyone, we gave you a ton of homework. We went a little bit long today. We gave you more homework than ever before, but this stuff's super important. Like, if you're really serious about marketing online, building a brand, this information's gold here. So take the time, do it for the next week. We'll get back on here next week and talk about step number 1 to actually marketing online, building your brand. So thanks so much, Cheryl.
Yes, thank you. That was so much fun. I love talking about that type of stuff. Yay!
Absolutely. All right, we'll see you next week, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye for now.